Good morning and welcome to the December 4th meeting of the Orange County Sustainability and Resilience Committee. On behalf of Byron and myself, we welcome you, and we want to start off with opening remarks from Mayor Demings.
Thank you, Leila. Good afternoon to all of you. Let me begin by first thanking you for serving on the Orange County Sustainability and Resilience Committee. Just 5 months ago, you began your work creating a comprehensive plan that would put Orange County as a top-ranked, sustainable, and resilient community in the Southeast. The action plan, which outlines 17 goals and 6 focus areas, provides a roadmap for the county to become a leader alongside our peers and other communities here in the metropolitan area. With your help and your collaboration with our stakeholders, our community will certainly move forward to achieve 100% clean energy, smart transportation technology, and enhancing our green space and our other natural land assets. As all of you know, initiatives such as these do not happen overnight. It takes a collaborative effort working with federal, state, and local and public and private entities to ensure that our community goals becomes a reality. I'm excited to see the final product of the committee's efforts, and I look forward to the implementation of the short-term goals that have been set in the coming year. Let me give a special thank you to Leila, Jamal, and Byron Nibbs for their leadership efforts. I'm sure that when we invited them to lead this effort, they had no idea how much time they will have to commit to ensuring that this initiative move forward. I do appreciate what you have done from the bottom of my heart. I would also like to thank the outgoing members from our Sustainability Advisory Board, including the chair, Mr. John Martinez, Melvin Pittman, Samuel Graham, Tommy Burrows, and Byron Nibbs. Before I conclude my remarks, in October, we launched the county's Vision 2050 comprehensive plan, reimagining the county. Your vision for the community has been incorporated into the plan that focuses on smart, thriving, and healthy growth in our region. Thank you again for this wonderful partnership and your commitment to Orange County's sustainability initiatives. Together, we can build a better tomorrow for our residents. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Leila.
Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership and for the opportunity to be a part of this. Let's proceed with the roll call. Starting with Adil Shalabi. Alex Precer. Make sure everybody's not on. Oh, I see Adil. Make sure you're unmuted.
Yeah, unmute. Yep.
Very good. Ashia McMillan. Bill Bradford.
Good afternoon, Lila.
Good afternoon, Bill. C.T. Shu. Carlos Torrealba.
Yes, I am here.
Derek Farrer.
Present. Good afternoon.
Ivan Aaron. Jennifer Zaro.
I'm here.
John Gujika. John Martinez.
Here.
Kenneth Peach.
I'm here, and I'm sorry it's noisy. I'm going to be on mute.
Very good. Christy Watson.
Here.
Louis DeVita. Madeline Almodovar. Melvin Pittman. Mohammed Ati.
Present.
I saw you, yes. Monica Sokaras.
Hello, present.
Philip Donovan.
Present, thank you.
Rachel Allen.
I'm here. Thank you.
Very good. Raquel Fernandez. Ray Shersut.
Here, thank you.
Sam Coy.
I am here. Thank you.
Samuel Graham. Shayna Carson.
I'm here. Thank you.
Susan Glickman.
Susan Glickman is present. Thank
Very
you.
well. Susie Toriente. Theo Webster.
I'm here. Good afternoon, everyone.
Tommy Burrows. And Yara Watson. All right, that concludes the roll call.
Thank you, Linda. Also, we have in attendance a lot of folks from across the county's departments, directors, managers, and staff, and especially our green team members. That internally we've worked on this plan together with you all. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone attending on the staff.
Jeff, Chris is here from City of Orlando as well.
And Nicole from Apopka is here as well. Good afternoon.
Jennifer Rupert from the Regional Planning Council is here as well. Thank you.
And I also saw Chris Stanger at the City of Winter Park on here as well.
Correct. Thank you.
All right. Byron Nibbs, if you can go ahead and take away with the public comment.
Well, yeah. So, Jeff, do we have any comments from the public?
No, sir. Nothing has been submitted. You can ask for any members of the public that wish to make a comment.
So, is there any member from the public who would like to say a few things? Right. Okay, not hearing any. We'll move on then. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to say that we have all worked hard to get to this point, and I'm happy to announce that we are ready to share and present the Sustainable Operation and Resilience Action Plan. So during our meeting today, we will be reviewing the highlights of the action plan in order to provide our final feedback and recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners to accept the plan. Of course, you know that our goal was to create a measurable and actionable plan for Orange County to lead by example and position our community as a whole to become a top-ranked and recognized leader in sustainability and community resilience. So in closing of this meeting, we will also review the community-wide priorities that we will expect our Orange County staff and the Sustainable Advisory Board to do for the upcoming year. So, Jeff, if you want to go ahead and talk about the action plan, it's all yours.
Great, thank you, Byron. All right, thank you for that nice introduction, everyone. And again, thank you for those that were able to attend. And as Byron mentioned, this has been a short, but also a lot of work in this short time frame. So not only hats off to our internal staff that have made this possible, but also our external committee members, all of you, for making this possible and working through this with us. Your feedback so far has been invaluable, and over the last several months since we met in September, we've been finalizing the plan and also cleaning it up. So all of you should have received the final draft, cleaned up version. It is still, not 100%. So please, that is the purpose of today's meeting, is to ensure that everyone has a chance to review, and we will keep that open public process over the next few weeks. So with that, I'm going to go, my goal today is really to present a highlight of the plan. Like I said, everyone should have a copy of this draft document. to provide you an overview of what we've developed so far to become that top-ranked community that not only Byron Nibbs and also Mayor Demings had tasked us to do at the beginning. So with that, just a quick reminder, we proceeded with a phased approach for the strategy. The first phase, of course, is this internal actions. And that therefore we have this internal document that we will be using as a roadmap moving forward for our staff and our departments. And then of course, lining our community-wide initiatives with the Vision 2050 plan, our comprehensive plan for Orange County, as well as the Sustainability Advisory Board to keep pushing that forward. So with that, I'm going to keep it short here to make sure we spend enough time on goals and feedback. But again, this was a cross-organizational effort across our different county departments, mostly on our administrative side, as well as our fleet management, facilities, assets, and offices. So thank you so much again for everyone's feedback so far throughout the entire organization, including just a small taste of the folks that did have some public input and input for this plan. So again, thank you to all of you. Our intent is to keep that team actively moving forward as we proceed through implementation, of course, and ongoing. As a result of this development process, we've undergone since May internally, the external and internal teams developed these 6 focus areas that are made up of 17 goals ultimately. These goals, we hope, are time-based and data-driven as best as possible, with a collection of 100 short and long-term actions that are kind of short-term and smaller actions that we wanted to make sure we got done and got completed. Again, just given the time frame that we developed this in the COVID-19 pandemic, there's a lot of uncertainty, but we really arrived at a very conservative and cost-conscious plan with a lot of no and low-cost items that we can do on a short-term basis. In this first section here, in the buildings and infrastructure section, we're looking to reduce the environmental impacts and optimize our operations and leading by designing and maintaining and building high-performance buildings and infrastructure. We really wanted to prioritize the health and wellness, as well as positively impacting community and our occupants themselves. We have 3 goals that are focused here, and I have copied and pasted for the benefits of just reading the goals, and of course you can refer to the actual plan itself. The county funded design and construction projects to meet new high performance standards. That is something that we will be starting this year. We've already started that process, in fact, with a few of our RFPs and bids that have gone out for design. Cross-departmental strategy to reduce 30% of our buildings and infrastructure energy use by 2025. This again is a countywide goal for all of our departments. And lastly, to mitigate risk and harden assets based on regional resilience indicators and updated mitigation plans. This is something that is actively, being a very key focus in our region now, and still a lot of work to do in this goal specifically, but at least gets us started. From an energy management standpoint, I wanted to focus on just the strategy on what we are going to be immediately implementing with this, establishing an energy management team of core team members throughout the county that are going to be focused on this work. Myself, along with a few others, are going to be the key focus to drive this mission forward until we have some additional work coming in the next year. We are going to be prioritizing projects with a very quick return on investment that is short term. And of course, doing what many organizations have done is establishing a series of conservation accounts at the department level to help incentivize or drive that fiscal conservation of savings for energy and water. There are quite a bit of course, it takes some money to save money. So there's, of course, fiscal considerations that we will be presenting in our projects and for next fiscal year. But again, for this next 2021 at the beginning, we'll be working through capturing some of the savings that are already in process. Under the mobility and fleet section, this mobility and fleet section is really focused on driving our, operational performance across our fleet, and focused on, we've got a goal around 50% reduction of petroleum by 2030, as well as deploying EV infrastructure that's community-based as well as privately or county-owned, and then converting our light-duty fleet to electric or alternative fuels by 2030. And lastly, a goal regarding implementing a suite of resilient technology retrofits at 300 intersections by 2025. So I'm going to focus on the goals, and for the mobility section, I wanted to present this petroleum-based fuel usage, whereas our biggest opportunity for improvement, as we will be realizing some of those savings by default with the market change in vehicle, and really prioritizing the projects that we can do at our light-duty fleet. As I had mentioned previously, our heaviest challenge is going to be the larger diesel fleet conversions for our heavy machinery and equipment and trucks, and we'll be focused on keeping an eye out for new and alternative technologies that come out over the next 3 years. In fact, the electric vehicle roadmap for the state of Florida was just released last week, so we'll be keenly following that along for moving forward. At this time, I wanted to ask any questions of the two buildings and infrastructure and mobility and fleet, any specific feedback or questions that we can focus on at this time. And not just for these goals, but for any of the goals that I didn't highlight specifically. All right, if not, we'll keep moving forward. For the water quality section, I'm going to have Jane Gregory from our Environmental Protection Division present the next two goals. Jane, you can take it away.
All right. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to talk to you about, we've got our water use and water quality goals, which are 7, 8, and 9. We want to look at how we protect our water quality, and we're looking at what innovative technologies we can use, integrated water management audits that we're doing at our county facilities. The idea is that we want to make sure that we're protecting our water from the operations that we do at our own properties, and not ever, looking for pollution prevention opportunities where we can. We don't want to be a source. And then also we want to make sure that we're using the best technology that we can to clean up any of our water quality issues in a cost-effective manner and in a scientifically appropriate manner. So that's about goal 7. Goal 8, reducing water use 25% across county facilities by 2030. We're going to do that through using water reuse and also doing checks on our equipment efficiencies, making sure that all of our equipment is operating at the optimal levels. And we can do that through water quality audits. And our goal 9, develop clean and safe access to alternate drinking water supplies to meet future demand, because that's really a big part of our job, is to make sure that the people that are living here are going to have clean and healthy water to drink. And with our water use and water quality focus area, we're looking at it by adopting the internal culture of one water. And that recognizes that all of our water is connected, which is what we need to be educating our residents and all of our staff about, making people think about one water. It's all coming from the same place and going back to, the earth. It's a national push throughout communities across the country, of course. And the idea behind it is it's going to help increase collaboration and help us vertically align all of our priorities across our various departments. So the goals in this section are supposed to help us drive our consistency, implement best practices and standards to help us conserve water use. We want to optimize our stormwater management and innovate new ways to sustain our water supply. So that's the whole focus of our water use and water quality part. So to highlight goal 7, protecting water quality through innovative technology and integrated water management audits at county facilities, that's a big part of it. During our baseline review across our departments, we identify various levels of design and maintenance of our water services and infrastructure. So we want to dig further into this and work to conduct audits at all of our facilities and see where we can identify opportunities to innovate, opportunities to implement pollution prevention, and figure out cost savings that are going to, make us have a better fiscal standpoint. And when you talk about the fiscal considerations, when we're eliminating pollutants and threats to our water bodies and our groundwater, that actually prevents costs, that come with mitigating and repairing, just damage to a system. It makes our projects more fiscally conservative. We want to make sure that we, train our staff, implement capital improvements that are appropriate, perform proper maintenance, and also make really smart contracts that are modified, to fit the contract specifications, and that we, communicate our needs to our contractors and consultants. So, all right. So now I'm going to move into supply chain and materials management goals. We've got 3 of those. In our supply chain and materials management section, the 3 goals are all about sustainable procurement, waste reduction, and diversion programs at both our county buildings and our landfill. So goal 13 is implement a sustainable procurement program with supplier metrics by 2023. So that's smart purchasing, right? Waste reduction and 70% diversion targeted throughout our buildings by 2030. So that's the waste we're generating. And then decrease the per customer landfill disposal tonnage 15% by 2025. When we go to goal 14, which is what I'm going to focus on now, we actually want to increase our waste diversion rates to 70% by 2030. That's a big, heavy lift, but we think we can do it because we're going to consolidate our collection methods. We'll be doing waste audits and training of our staff. And we're going to make sure that our construction and demolition debris from our capital projects, which currently we do recycle quite a bit of our C&D, but we don't track it. So we want to make sure that we're tracking what we do, identifying gaps, and figuring out where we can do better. So the benefits to this is we're going to save money on our contracts. We're going to reduce the amount of waste that we send to the landfill, right? And we do have enough staff resources to begin aggressive diversion campaigns. It should be cost minimal amount of money to be able to install additional recycling bins in all of our county facilities. We've got additional direct costs that we can realize for any new collection contracts for materials that we're not currently recycling. And we've got cost savings that can be realized with waste contract renewals and rebids. So we would like to kind of look at like how much waste are we generating? Are we using the right size dumpsters, right? Because if they're just picking up dumpsters that are half full, that's not cost effective. So we want to right size our dumpsters, revise our pickup schedules accordingly, and identify any other waste reduction programs that we can put into place. All right. And now we'll move into trees and lands. We have 2 goals for trees and lands. We want to preserve more acreage. So whether that's through acquisition or finding other ways to preserve land, we want to preserve at least another 23,000 acres of environmentally sensitive lands by 2030. And we also want to protect and enhance our tree canopy and figure out ways that we can build more wildlife habitat on our county properties. Okay. And the goal 16, which is what we're going to focus on here. We've already got our green place program that people are really familiar with. We do a lot of education about that, but we feel like we've got some new opportunities as well. So we're going to get a hold of 23,000 more acres by forming maybe some new partnerships, being, more creative with how we acquire land and find ways to preserve it. And then we're also going to look at other county land assets to see how they might fit into our conservation efforts. The whole idea is we want to help our health and wellness efforts and provide more public access to green open space while we're preserving habitat. Fiscally, the biggest impact that we can expect in the land acquisition is going to be around $435 million over a 10-year time frame. And that's how it's looking right now.
I just want to ask any clarification or feedback on the goals. You may have seen that there have been a few changes from the originally thought out goals, but just based on everything that we have been working through, please let me know if you have any comments or specific comments.
Jeff, it's Ken Peach. Just a quick question. I know one of the issues we've been dealing with over the last couple of years is the decline in the value of recycling. I'm reading now nationwide that the recycling market's coming back. So I wondered if that's going to impact us.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up because one of the other goals that talks about the landfill specifically as an operation that we manage, we just, we're about to award and select a consultant that will help us through the Sustainable Materials Management Plan, which is one of the first action items that we have in this plan. And that will be the guiding future of the landfill, as well as our materials recycling facility and overall the entire solid waste operation as a whole. So that is a huge threat, and that's actually noted in the plan as one of the biggest threats here, that we have to keep those markets and keep it cost effective, which of course, you know, that price has to be paid at some point. So good point there, Ken, and it's not going to get any easier by any means. Same with construction and demolition throughout the state specifically. Is another key area of issue. Any other questions or?
Jeff, this is Chris in Orlando. I just wanted to commend you all for pulling this together in such a short amount of time. I really like the summary of short-term actions chart in each one of the sections, how you all have identified a time frame, how you went even to the thought process of who's the team that's going to be a part of this, and even the budget impact. And I think it just goes to show that it's not just a checkbox for you all, but you're really meaningfully looking at how to incorporate this work into the operations of the county. And so at a high level, it looks fantastic.
Thanks, Chris. You'll keep us busy and accountable, I'm sure. At this time, we'll close out with the last section of the plan, which is the energy and climate section. And I will call on Lori Forsman, our Sustainable Programs Manager, to present the final section.
Hi, everyone. This last section is our energy and climate action goals, although it does appear first in our document. So the goals are 1, 2, and 3. This section is a true culmination of the expected results that we anticipate from the goals and actions in the other sections that we went over. So I wanted to also note that we're trying to illustrate our commitment to climate action and really show our leadership for a less carbon intensive future. So our goal 1 is 30% reduction of greenhouse gas emissions from our county operations by 2030. For goal 2, we're looking to achieve 100% of county operations electricity from clean renewable sources by 2035. And then for goal 3, we're going to look at some community-wide energy savings programs that we can push out into the community.
And Lori, you're breaking up a little bit, so you might want to take off your video.
Okay. So for our goal 2 highlight, to achieve 100% of county operations electricity from renewable sources, we are looking at basically first following the efforts of our reduced energy usage from our county facilities. And then we'll look at solar capacity studies across our properties, and we'll look at renewable offsets from our utility programs, such as Duke's Clean Energy Connection Program. We'll also follow statewide legislative efforts that will affect our utility companies and their intended plans. So we'll monitor that as we're going along. Additionally, we hope that we will benefit from those plans in terms of cleaner energy production from our utilities. We're looking fiscally to realize cost savings, number one, from that reduced energy consumption, but also as a result of that, a reduced cost for our renewable offsets. And we'll look to on-site generation at some of our county facilities, like at our landfill and our water treatment plants.
So in summary, I just wanted to summarize the next steps and the outcomes of this plan is to have that lead by example approach. And as Chris had mentioned, I really hope that we've delivered on that so far. And of course, well, let me rephrase, delivered on that vision. Now it's time to implement and actually deliver results. We are going to be prioritizing those short-term and operational savings, as well as helping control costs, and looking for additional grant funding opportunities and new partnerships that we can do and embark on with this plan. In summary here, the implementation team and how we're seeking to move forward at this point, we will be utilizing our internal team that we have still will be meeting, and probably some changes in the makeup of that team. And we've had several others show incredible amount of interest to help on the implementation. We also started an internal culture change. That's the best way I can describe it, a culture change team to help. It's called the Innovation Lab Core Team, that's made up of 35 people across the county to help the process improve, as well as look for opportunities for collaboration across different county departments. We will be prioritizing those projects that have the no cost and really using this document for fiscal year 22 budget and for our budget planning for the rest of this year as well. Any administrative or policy changes or any of these commitments that we are presenting will be going forth in front of the Board of County Commissioners as they come. And these projects need to be approved, as the time goes, which is why we've set up those timelines. And our community, just as a reminder, our community-wide priorities you'll hear about just in a second. And we will be presenting this final plan to the Board of County Commissioners on December 15th, which you all are invited to. We will be presenting that live stream through Orange TV as well as our YouTube account. That summarizes the action plan and kind of our points forward. At this time, I wanted to ask for any other comments or questions on the plan itself, and then we can keep moving with our meeting.
Just quickly, Jeff, the whole thing is well done and impressive, and it's a great roadmap. But I want to make one comment about the last piece because of the community piece. So it's one thing for Orange County to get more efficient in its operations and all that good stuff. And it's super important and you need to do that, and you are, but it is something you control more. I think the more challenging piece is what Orange County offers to the community. It's just more complicated. You can't make people, I love that you have a strong partnership with Solar Energy Loan Fund. You've got strong partnerships already with the Solar Co-op, Solar United Neighbors, those kinds of things that you offer the community. So it will be more challenging, and I'd look to work with you all because it's a real paradigm shift. What we're doing here, trying to move to 100%, and let's not, kid ourselves that it's not a challenging thing to do, because you're moving away from, sort of infrastructure and an energy system that's been laid in place for a long, long time. And I appreciated what was said earlier about interacting at what's going on at the state level, and it's all, kind of integrated. So I just loved the visionary just overall approach. And I just wanted to give you, big compliments for all of it.
Yeah, thank you, Susan, for bringing that up. And in fact, I've been working hard over the last few months with Mayor Dennings and all of our commissioners to really get them up to speed on some of these energy policies that unfortunately, Orange County has never really had a position on before. But with the Florida Association of Counties and a lot of the movement that's going on at the state level and local level with Duke Energy and OUC, that's really my role and was a key expectation that Mayor Dennings and county administration had when I came on board. And we've been busy at it. We've had several interactions with the Public Service Commission already, as well as Duke Energy and OUC. So we will continue moving that forward as we go as a core responsibility of our local government here. Any other questions or comments before we move to the next section? Just as a reminder for everybody, this plan is still available for feedback and comment. If you have any specific items or asks or clarifications, thank you for those that have responded so far and kind of, hey, you missed this, or hey, we talked about this. So it's been great as a reminder, because as you can imagine, the editing process has been quite challenging, and just want to make sure that we're not missing anything that we had discussed. Okay, with no other questions, I wanted to move forward on the next moving forward. So following this meeting, you will be receiving a copy of this letter for review, but I wanted Lila to at least run through the bones of this letter and see if there's any comments or issues with moving this forward.
Okay, well, yes, you can see we've done a nice job of, I think, keeping it fairly concise. You should be able to take a look at it, and you see the kind of the overall mission that we've outlined.
We'll also, I'm going to make this bigger for everyone to see it, realize it was an eye chart.
Let me see if I have my...
And Layla, it might be easier if I just read it as well.
Well, as short as it is, that's probably not a bad idea. And I think we're good on time, so.
Okay, perfect.
Would you like to read it?
Yeah, that's fine. I can go ahead and move forward and read it. Okay, so this first letter here is going to be for the external committee, or on behalf of the formal external committee. It's addressing directly to the county commissioners and Mayor Demings. As he mentioned, I will be briefing him in detail on this plan next Thursday. So I wanted to make sure that we had this discussion beforehand so that he feels comfortable with these recommendations. In order to enhance Orange County's efforts to become a top-ranked and recognized community for sustainability and resilience, a phased approach was developed in July 2020. A cross-departmental team of staff working in conjunction. I will spare you this because this is more just a background here. We applaud the efforts of Mayor Daryl Demings and the Orange County administration for taking the lead by example approach to continue making this initiative a countywide priority, as well as staying true to the commitments of innovation, collaboration, and inclusion. Here's the most important part here is on behalf of the members of the Mayor's Sustainability and Resilience External Committee, we recommend the acceptance of the Sustainable Operations and Resilience Action Plan, which contains 17 goals to become a top-ranked and recognized community. We understand this action plan outlines a variety of goals and actions and potential fiscal impacts during that implementation that the board actions will be individually presented. The external committee also understands that it's the responsibility of the Sustainability Advisory Board and staff to that we have established under a resolution, a county resolution, and updated here in 2020 to monitor the day-to-day implementation of this action plan and track the metrics to ensure achievement of the goals that we've established. We understand that this external committee will be convened at the request of Mayor Demings and Orange County administration for future initiatives and programs. So that is, and try to keep it as short and sweet as possible, but really the focus being the accountability here and the endorsement of this plan to move forward. So again, everyone will have a copy of this plan or this letter for support. Does anyone have any comments or objections to this letter as it's written?
Motion to approve.
Well, it's, Layla, sorry, just to take back, I need you to call the action, not myself, sorry.
Oh, well, are you looking for a motion for approval now?
Or just any comments or any objections?
Right. Yeah, I think it'd be better to give like you said, give everyone an opportunity. If you do have any comments after you've had a chance to further digest it, I would presume we would just get back to you, Jeff, in an email.
Yes, ma'am. Everyone can contact me directly with anything. That needs to be changed.
Very good. So we don't really need to take formal approval on it today.
Jeff, this is Chris in Winter Park. Are you planning on doing annual updates on the progress as part of that subcommittee?
Yes. So for this external committee, the engagement here will, not sunset, but you all will be put on the sideline for activation at a later time. And my intent is to do an annual update with you all to show progress. And of course, you'll see the updates as we go, and we'll keep you abreast of changes as well as achievements as we go. So I'm going to keep you close, and you won't be a stranger, but the formal committee will not need to meet moving forward. Unless we are calling upon on you a specific issue or a community item that we need some guidance and assistance.
Understood. Thanks.
All right, so just for logistics here, I will need a email approval of you as an advisory board member and committee member. So I just want to make sure everyone has a chance to read the plan and read the letter as well. And we'll ask for an email vote at that time.
Okay.
Okay, moving forward, the Sustainability Advisory Board, and just as a reminder to everyone, there were 9 members of this external committee that already served on the county's Sustainability Advisory Board that was established back in 2014. So this was a separate letter that we've drafted for this board. And in fact, I will be introducing some of the new members after we finish this letter here. And this would be the Sustainable Operations Advisory Board that will be approving this letter and sending it to the Board of County Commissioners that will be submitted with this plan. And I just wanted to focus, the up here is very similar to what we've already discussed. Will be welcomed to the SAB, that will be onboarded within the months of December and January. And again, the board actions here that it understands the role and implementation of this plan to monitor the actions, track performance outcomes, and ensure achievement established. Lori Forsman will be going through this board and how it operationalizes here in the county. We have changed the powers and duties slightly to reflect what's in this letter, and we look forward to engaging with this board in an official process with the Board of County Commissioners. So John Martinez, do you have any comments or questions that you want to call on the board members specifically that are in attendance?
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. So I've had a chance to look at this. I hope the other SAB board members have been able to as well. If you haven't, please take the time to do so. Do we have any comments from any of you at this point, or questions? Okay, well then I would ask if the Sustainability Advisory Board supports the endorsement of the action plan. I don't know that we need Jeff to get a full yay or nay vote, or do we?
I actually don't think that we can, because I don't think we have quorum, because we're missing Samuel, Madeline, and Melvin. So unfortunately, we cannot.
Well, maybe we can do that over email.
Yeah, we can do that by email as well. John, just a quick item here is I did receive some feedback from Ken Peach as well as Madeline. So, anyone else, and Byron Nibbs as well. So anyone that has any questions or changes, please send those to us.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess when the roll call happened earlier, I couldn't unmute myself, but I've been here the whole time. This is Madeline.
Madeline, thank you. I got your email earlier, so I wasn't sure if you were joining us.
Yeah, I've been kind of listening and grieving at the same time, but thank you.
John, in that case, we do have quorum, right, Lori? We could do that.
Yes, we do.
Great. Well, first of all, thank you, Madeline, for speaking up. I'm glad you're here. Let's go ahead and knock it out then. I would entertain a motion from any of the Sustainability Advisory Board members to approve this endorsement.
So
It's Ken Peach, I'll second.
All right, so we've got a motion from John and a second from Byron and Ken. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Favor,
I'm
aye.
in favor.
Opposed? All right, great. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
That was good. I'm glad we did that. Thank you, Madeline. You saved us there. Okay. At this time, I'm going to kick it back to Lori Forsman to provide a community-wide update. This is really just a highlight of some of the current activities that we have going on. And of course, as a result of our engagement through July and September, there's a lot of great community priorities and we're already underway on some of these. So Lori, please move forward.
Thank you. So as you might remember, during the second week of our work session meetings, we talked a lot about community-wide priorities, took a lot of points from all of you and sort of prioritized what we were looking at as new community-wide initiatives to focus on. And so with the completion of this internal action plan, we can move forward with an update to our community-wide goals as the next phase, as Jeff mentioned, phase 2. And it's actually perfect timing for us because the comprehensive plan update, Vision 2050, is just beginning. They're doing some restructuring, some realignment of the goals and objectives in the comp plan. And so it's a good time for us to refocus our efforts on community-wide priorities and ensuring that they are well represented within the comprehensive plan. So we'll be using our Sustainability Advisory Board to help us begin stepping through this process of aligning our community-wide priorities as this committee has defined, as well as the goals and strategies of the Our Home for Life plan that we currently have in existence, and then the changes with the structure of the comprehensive plan, pulling all that together so that we can move forward with a set of more actionable goals for our community-wide priorities. So on the next slide.
Just to add some clarification here, since many of you, when you first started on this board or committee, you were asking, well, what's going to happen to the Orange County Our Home for Life plan? And that's the answer, is that we'll be taking those community-wide initiatives that have been identified there, and of course, wrapping it into the Vision 2050 through the renew and update of those items. And I think it's, like Lori said, it's perfect timing for us to do that. And have one comprehensive, truly comprehensive plan, and not have a separate community-wide sustainability plan that we want to make sure that we don't miss the boat on future planning efforts here. So it's good timing. Sorry, Lori.
So just really quickly, we talked about the Sustainability Advisory Board. I wanted to identify the creation and the purpose of it. We updated this slightly in the new resolution, but the board's responsibility is to oversee the implementation of all county sustainability and resilience plans. So they'll be reviewing progress on all of our goals and targets, making adjustments as necessary, and of course, providing their expertise on any future sustainability and resilience initiatives that may come forth in the county. So that's the new purpose for our advisory board and our new members. On the next slide, I'm just highlighting very quickly that we're setting a new vision for to sustain our quality of life and enhance our people, places, and prosperity. There are values of innovation, collaboration, and inclusion. And then the mission is continuous improvement. So on the next slide, I wanted to show you the categories. We have some new categories and some updates to the categories of the seats on the advisory board, specifically in the areas of renewable energy and high performance buildings, smart infrastructure and resilience, and urban tree canopy management. So those are some additions to the seats. And the names in black are our current members. And of course, the mayor mentioned that some of our members are terming out. So we thank them for their service. And then the new members that we want to introduce that are onboarding right now, Edward Johnson, who is the CEO of Bambutility Media. Madeline Almodovar is actually moving into a different spot. So she is staying on board. She's an environmental project manager at Jacobs Engineering. Christina Oinuga is the Metro Cities program manager with the Nature Conservancy. Laura Betts is the Orlando program manager with Clio Institute. Susie Torienti, who is on this committee, is the global technology leader and city resilience with Jacobs Engineering. And then Michael Gilbrook will be working in our urban planning and transportation planning area, and he's the professor of urban planning and GIS at UCF. So this board will have some additional responsibilities to ensure, as I mentioned, continuous improvement. They will be required to provide an annual report to the Board of County Commissioners each year with a presentation, and they will help look at all of the sustainability and resilience efforts going on in the county and on a monthly basis. On our next slide, I just wanted to highlight once again, these are the community-wide priorities that came out of the discussions that this committee had during that second week of meetings. And these are the points at which the Sustainability Advisory Board will begin looking at how these community priorities fit with the goals and strategies in our current Our Home for Life plan, and then how they might match with existing goals and objectives in our comp plan. And then we'll look at how we can bridge the gap and ensure that all of these priorities are adequately reflected in the comp plan as an actual goal and objective. And then we'll look at more actionable strategies in our Home for Life plan to address these community-wide priorities. So we'll look for any gaps, we'll fill in the gaps, but we want to drive the strategic direction of these community-wide priorities in the comp plan, and then make sure that our Home for Life plan addresses a more actionable approach to achieve them. On the next slide, I've identified some of the projects of interest that the Sustainability Advisory Board has been tracking in the past, either presentations that were, that were presented at one point and that follow-ups were required, or some new initiatives or projects that that they were looking to have more information on. I put them in some of the categories based upon the elements of the plan, and we'll be looking to make sure that these projects are presented and that they are aligned with the community-wide priorities and the goals and objectives of the comp. And the Sustainability Advisory Board will be looking at these and prioritizing these projects and looking to include them in the 2021 agenda for the year and in the strategic plan for the 2020 year.
Thank you, Lori, for that overview. I also just wanted to remind everybody that those public meetings are held monthly now, and we will be resuming in January with the new members that Lori had mentioned. So we look forward to that engagement once we get started. Everyone is available to attend those meetings. They will be recorded and posted on the Orange County website, as well as you're welcome to reach out to the chair. Well, there will be a new chair of that advisory board to submit any additional feedback or direction that you may have. Other members of the community that will be unofficially a part of that advisory board, of course, the invitation stands for all of our city liaisons and city peers that we have that have shown their leadership and commitment, including the city of Apopka, the city of Winter Park, the city of Orlando, and the City of Winter Garden. So all those invitations stand, as well as our agency partners, including GOA and links that all have sustainability and resilience priorities themselves. So lastly, the other item that will be, or the other agency partner would be Orange County Public Schools. And of course, these are not official seats, but we will continue moving that and inviting OUC and Duke to attend those meetings as we move forward. All right, so with that, we are nearing the end here, and I just wanted to ask again for any questions or comments so far that we have on the Sustainability Advisory Board and the future engagement of this board.
Hey, Jeff, can I just ask something? And just because we don't have that many chances to say something, so I don't, there may be some people's backgrounds who I don't know, or, but I spent a couple hours this morning on the Health and Equity Subcommittee of the East Central Florida Regional Resiliency Collaborative, which of course Jennifer was on, and the need and the intensity of making sure that we, you know, as we create and institutionalize things, that the equity lens is there. So I don't know if that's as well represented as it needs to be on. So I fully admit not knowing every single person's background, but I'm not sure I saw it as much. You know, there were pieces here and there that talked about efficiency and something about renters and certain things, but you know, in this day and age, with, you know, these economic disparities being, you know, sort of seen, you know, so much now, I just want to make sure that's in there, and maybe it does need to be stated more. But anyway, that's the only thing that just sort of struck me. And I just sent you a note. I want to make sure we talk about consumer protections in PACE when you get to that piece of it, but we can talk offline about that.
Thank you, Susan, for the comments. I'm glad you brought that up, just because I wanted to say that, you know, and again, we barely introduced the new members, and of course it's forthcoming, but some of the new members, in fact, 4 of them specifically had talked about their experience in their application to this board. This board is actually not selected by me or really anyone on county administration or appointed. They are appointed by a separate quasi-judicial board, which is the membership and review board. So anyone from the public is able to submit those applications, and they look at the applications and do that track and see what fits in which board. So I think to your point on this one, there's going to be a lot of coordination that we need to do amongst our other boards. We have several, especially the Citizen Safety Task Force now, which some of you may sit on, and some of you may already sit on other boards that we'll just need to do a lot more cross-board communication and identification of priorities on that. So anyone else from Lilo or Byron or John, anyone have any comments on that? Lori?
I thank you, Susan, for bringing that up, because this morning when we were talking about the goals in the equity session of the Resilience Collaborative, Jeff and I have just been talking about some of the work we were going to do to incorporate that equity lens within this document that we're still finalizing, and then in the new effort of the community-wide objectives. So it's a very valid point, and it's not lost. And the members, different members of our advisory board, have a unique view on some of those topic areas and bring them up regularly. So we definitely are on board with that thought.
I have a question. This is Theo. In the Our Home for Life plan, Arts and Culture has a section where they outline, you know, what they saw as their goals and strategies to go forward. Didn't carry forward very much into the mayor's transition plan, and the sustainability and resilience, that's an internal plan, correct? So I would just kind of ask or wonder more specifically what the role of arts and culture is, because I think it's an important role.
So Theo, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to give you a shout out earlier. This is why I had asked you and specifically the Arts and Cultural Sustainability Subcommittee of the Arts and Cultural Affairs Council. That's why I asked you for going through the quality of life section of the Our Home for Life sections and the arts and cultural section, since it was quite outdated from 2014. So that is going to be your role, and we're happy to have you and glad to have you on board as you know, to shepherd that. And there are, you know, remind me, there are 9 members of that subcommittee. Is that correct?
I believe there are 7 at this point.
Okay. And of course, we haven't been meeting due to COVID-19 issues, but as soon as you guys are ready to go, as Lori mentioned, we'll be wrapping you in the feedback process and finalizing your section of the arts and cultural areas so that we can submit that as part of the 2050 strategy.
Yeah, we were meeting pretty regularly through November 1st. Now that we need to establish an in-person quorum, we've had some difficulties, and it's kind of held our going forward up. We're kind of presenting that to the full advisory council, Arts and Cultural Affairs Advisory Council, and we're working through all the different committee chairs on substantially updating the Our Home for Life goals.
Thank you, Theo. At this time, I wanted to ask any members of our staff have any questions or comments they wanted to say at this time, or the internal team. Okay. Any other members of the committee? Any final closing remarks? Layla, you can wrap up our meeting here.
Okay, well, I guess on behalf of Byron and myself and John, I want to thank everybody for getting us to this point of being able to present the plan to the BCC on December the 15th. Jeff, we would all be remiss if we did not thank you for your leadership. You've done an amazing job of bringing a large committee together in a very efficient and effective way. And I think we're all very proud of the work that's been done, and we owe that largely to you. So thank you. You all heard Mayor Demings advise that, that this committee will remain ad hoc, will serve at the pleasure of the board. There could be a strategic initiative that comes along or a future policy where they'll want to engage all or some toward you know, some sort of an activity. So we'll remain ad hoc. Meanwhile, this committee will expect the 9-member Sustainability Advisory Board to remain the eyes, the ears, the voice to continue moving these priorities forward and keeping the committee engaged. So with that, thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Layla. Byron, do you have any closing thoughts? Otherwise, we can close out here.
Well, for me, I just want to thank everybody who had served on this committee and for taking time out of your busy schedule. And I can tell you, I do, and I know county appreciate it. And also to thank the county staff who actually, through their engagement and their input, have made all of us working together, put together a great sustainability operation and resilience action plan. So I have all faith that county staff will execute this, and of course that our county, Orange County, will be known for its sustainable programs and also for community what is resilient. So thank you, everybody, and it was a pleasure working with everyone.
Thank you, Layla and Byron, for your leadership on this, and thank you to each of you that served your time on this committee. I really appreciate it. We couldn't have done it without you. And while this has been a short engagement and very efficient, I hope, not come without pain, blood, sweat, and tears. So thank you to all of us for doing this, and we will keep it moving forward. So with that, we'll close out this meeting, and we will see you the next year. And for those of you that can tune in December 15th, show your support. We will have a fun time in front of the Board of County Commissioners. So thank you so much, and this concludes this meeting.
Very good. Thank you.